I think it's important to say that obviously within any country like Brazil, certainly one of this magnitude, there's all sorts of different ways in which arts are made and all sorts of different companies, many of which operate in structures incredibly similar to the ones we recognise in Europe, certainly in the UK. And the great thing about working here is to be able to experience all those different ranges. But there is a whole sort of work, a whole sort of artwork across all the arts that I feel we just don't really have. And that is, I suppose, arts that's coming up from communities, that's been established from people within those communities, has kept their base there, and then come up, if that's the right expression. And so a company like Nostro Morro, Afro-Reggae, or Kufa, or Crescer and Viver and Agency, and I could keep naming them, are companies that have a distinctive identity that belongs to, certainly many of those ones I've just mentioned, certain territories, and where the characteristics of those territories are maintained in the production of the work. And those territories are seen as productive, and those people are seen as a part of a process of producing work in a way that tends to be, and all this can be generalised, very different in the UK. So, of course, we have incredible arts organisations who do work in arts and social justice, or it could be arts and health or arts and education. The model tends to be a professional artist who goes into a community or into an institution and then creates a sort of fantastic community project around that. And obviously, if you scratch away at the surface of something like Nostro Morro, Afro-Reggae, there's probably somebody who at some stage has been that catalysing process and been important to that. And goodness knows they have some messianic leaders, some of these organisations that have taken them forward. But the essential principle of them being territorially based and growing out from that and maintaining that base is distinctively different. And I suppose one of the things is obviously this completely different professional art structure. So that what you're watching from the 90s onwards, Nostro Morro is slightly earlier in the 80s, but we're watching from the 90s onwards, is actually an art structure that's closer to NGO structure. And NGOs that, as I say, were territorially based, and therefore their missions and their purpose were very different from the ones that we might recognise within some of our art scene. So the bending and doubling that so many artists in the UK have to do, and the Arts Council has joined us in thinking about the relationship between excellence and social justice and all those sort of things that still trouble around the edges of that work in the UK, really wasn't so troubling here, because they were much clearer about what they were doing and why they were doing it. Didn't mean they weren't producing great art. Of course they were, in a way that we were able to take Nostro Morro on a 12-year journey with the Royal Shakespeare Company, so the young actors were performing in the complete work season at Stratford-upon-Avon, the way in which we were able to take Afro-Reggae to perform on the main stage of the Barbican, or the South Bank Centre, or in Contact in Manchester, or the Liverpool Playhouse. These are great artists, but the purpose and the place they've come from is so distinctively different from, I think, the way in which much of that work emerges in the UK.